Hey, this is Tina from Tina's Love of Crochet and welcome to my very first video. This video is for beginners starting from scratch and I'll be showing you the basic stitches you need to get started. Okay, so let's start with a slip knot. We want to hold the tail with our left hand, wrap it around our fingers and cross it over, make a cross and then tuck it in there. Okay, so you want to grab your hook facing down and you want to pick up that bottom strand right there. So pick up that bottom one and bring the top one under. Like that. Take your fingers out, pull up a loop. And you can tighten it by pulling that long strand. Okay, and that is our slip knot. So leave a bit of a tail so that you can sew that in later. You don't want that too short. Okay. So now we are going to hold our I'll show you how to hold our yarn and our hook. I like to hook it on to my pinky and then take it around the back of my hand and index finger up in the air, and then I want to use my middle finger and thumb to grip my work. And I'm gripping my tail at the moment till I have some work to grip. Okay, so we want to put our thumb on our flat bit of our hook there, and all we're doing is rotating the hook back and forward. We're not spinning it around. Okay, so just up and down, up and down. Okay, and we are going to be starting. So we want to have that yarn there, not loose like this, because that won't work. We want it not tight either. We just want it straight. So keep that tension just straight and not too tight, not too loose. Okay, and we're going to be working that nice straight line there. So now we're going to do a chain, our foundation chain. So all we're doing is hook facing up. We're going to grab our yarn and pull it through the one on our hook. Pull out your loop, up and down. Now we don't want these too tight because they'll be a bugger to get into later. Okay, so we're just working up and down. So just make sure that that loop is loose enough to get your hook through. You don't want it tight and you don't want it too loose because then you end up with really big chains. So just big enough to get your hook through. Okay, hook facing up, grab your yarn, pull it back down. Hook faces up, hook faces down, hook facing. And now as you work a bit of that chain, now you have a foundation to work into. Okay, so I'll show you a few different ways. This is the back of your chain. It's got the back bumps. So there's a few different ways to work into your chain. The front here, it looks like a plait. We always skip that very first chain and we're going to work into the second chain. So pick up that one loop there. You can either do it that way or you can fiddle a bit more further down, pick up two loops there. So you've got two on the top, one on the bottom. That way is a bit neater, but a bit trickier. Or my personal favourite is picking up the very back bump. This is the trickiest way, but it is by far the neatest and prettiest. So you want to just struggle your way through that first bump. Once you get the first one, the rest are pretty easy, especially because it's so close to the hook. It's a bit awkward to get into, so then you're just working those back bumps there. But for now, so there's the next one there. A little bit tricky, but yeah, if you it is the nicest way to do it if you can. But for now, we're just going to do the nice easy way, and we're going to pick up that one loop there, and we're going to do a single crochet. So we pull out a loop, and we've got two on our hook, so we're going to pull through two. So this is called a single crochet. So we find that next one, not the one we've worked into, and put your hook in, bring out your yarn, bring out a loop, and now you yarn over and go through the two loops there. So we find that next chain, bring your yarn out, yarn over through two. So I like to say part one, pull through one, and part two, pull through two. Okay, find the next one, part 1, pull through 1, part 2, pull through 2. You want to work down the rest of that chain there till the end. Okay, now I've got 2 left there. So going to insert your hook into the second last one, pull your yarn out, pull up a loop, yarn over through 2. Find that last one, sometimes looks a bit weird, right near the knot there. See the little knot, your slip knot, and pull through 2. Okay, and that is your single crochets done. You can see the nice little V's formed at the top. They're your front loop and your back loop, and they're what we're going to be working into. So now we're going to do half double crochets. So we want to chain 2 for our turning chain. So 2 for our turning chain. Now we can flip it, and we're going to start our half double crochets. Now follow that little turning chain down to find that first stitch. We start off with a yarn over. Okay, so that's the only difference between this one and the single. Yarn over first. Hold that on with your finger because they like to escape. Follow that chain down, find your first stitch, and you want to pick up those 2 loops of your first stitch. Okay, so you've got your front and your back loop. Just there, that V, make sure you're picking up the V and not the chain. Find that V. Okay, so we yarn over and you're going in, yeah, through the side there. So yarn over first, into the stitch, grab your yarn and pull out a loop. Now you've got 3 on your hook instead of 2, so the rest is the same, just pull through all 3 instead. That's the only difference. So we yarn over first, find that next one, keep them on with your finger. Now make sure you got the next one, not the one you've just worked into. Okay, into the stitch, pull out your loop. Now you've got 3, keep it loose, yarn over through all 3. If you don't keep it loose, you're going to struggle. Yarn over, into your next stitch, pull out your, make sure you got those 2 loops there, you're under the 2 loops. Pull out your loop, go through all 3. Yarn over, into your stitch, bring out your loop, yarn over through all 3. Yarn over, into your stitch, pull out your loop, yarn over through all 3. And continue along. We will get to the second last one. Okay, so the last one does look a bit weird. Make sure you're looking for that last V there. If you don't get that last V, you will shrink your work. You'll lose a stitch. So you want to yarn over, go on the second last one, pull it out, yarn over through all 3. Now let's pick up that last tricky one. Does look a bit awkward sometimes. Yarn over, make sure you're getting those 2 loops. See those 2 front and back loops there. It's a bit split, but you get what I mean. Yarn over, pull through all 3. And that is our half double crochets done. We've made it to the end. And now we are going to go on to double crochet. So we are going to go up a chain size. 3 chains for our turning chain this time because our stitches are getting bigger and taller. So we've done the 3 there. Now we can turn our work, and we're going to start at the bottom of our 3 chains into that first V there. So we're going to start it off the same by yarning over, go into your stitch, pull out your loop, and that's the same so far. We've got the 3, but instead we are going to pull through 2 loops only. So we've still got 2 left on our hook. We're going to pull through 2 again. So we're going to yarn over, which is as you can see, it's a nice taller stitch. Find that next one. Okay. Now yarn over into that next stitch, pull out your loop, Yes, picking up the 2 loops. Pull it out. Now we're going to yarn over and pull through 2 only. And yarn over and pull through 2 again. That's why we call it the double crochet. Yarn over into our next stitch, pull out your loop, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2. Yarn over, hold them on with your finger, into your stitch, pull out your loop, pull it up, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2. Yarn over, find that next stitch, pull out your loop, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2. Let's make it to the end. Got the 2 left there, ignoring that turning chain, unless a pattern specifically says to work into it, but we are not, so we are working 2 more stitches. Pull out your loop, through 2, through 2. Let's find that last V. Okay, which does look a bit awkward, just at the top of your little turning chain there. Yarn over, pick up that V. Grab your yarn, pull out a loop, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2. And as you can see, that line is nice and straight. We haven't got any steps, so we've worked into everything. So we've got our singles at the bottom, our half doubles and our doubles. So now we are moving on to treble. So we're going to chain 4 this time. So chain 4, it's a nice tall stitch. Okay. And that's going to be how big our stitch is. That's why it's so tall. So follow that chain to the bottom and you're going to make sure you're working into that first V. Now the only difference is we're yarning over twice with this one. So yarning over twice and then hold everything on with your finger because they do like to slip off. Find that bottom V. Follow the chain to the bottom of and find that V. And everything like before. Pull out your loop, pull through 2, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So we did that 3 times and that's why we call it a treble. It's big and tall. So you want to find that next stitch there. Okay, so you've worked into that one, find that next one. So we yarn over twice into our next stitch. Right there, pull out your loop. Now we're going to yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2. Yarn over twice to start. Now you want to hold your stitch upright. See, if you hold it like that, you can't sort of see where you need to go into. So if you hold it upright, you can see which one you've been into, and then you can find the next one. Okay, so that's where we've come out of. That's our next one. Into our stitch, bring out our loop, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2. Yarn over twice, into our next stitch. Pull out your loop, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2. Yarn over twice, find that next stitch. See, if it's a bit tricky when you're holding it flat, so keep it upright. Yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2. Let's make it to the end. We've got the 2 left there, 1 and 2, ignoring our turning chain. So just look for those 2 V's. There's 1 there and 1 there. The rest is our chain, not working into that. Okay, so look for those 2 stitches left underneath. Yarn over twice, into our stitch, pull out our loop, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2. Yarn over twice. Find that last tricky looking V, pull out our loop, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2. and you have completed the 4 basic stitches for crochet. Nice and tall, this one, the treble. And then you've got the doubles underneath, the half doubles and the singles. So you can just keep going back and forward, back and forward. If you're going to do the singles again, you want to chain 1. Okay, so we chain 1 for the singles and do another row of that. Then you can chain 2 for the half doubles and do another row of that. Chain 3 for the doubles and then chain 4 for the trebles. And you can keep going back and forward till you have some good practice and get it as long as you want. You can make a scarf if you like, or if you've only got a few stitches to work with, you can make a bookmark. So keep practicing that, and I'll be back in my next video to show you some different stitching techniques. Thanks for watching. Hope this was helpful.